A'ja Wilson doing what she just did, there's no coming back for her. She should be fined, barred, suspended, something. Because the level of assault Caitlin Clark took, there's no coming back from that.
A'ja Wilson just crossed a line that you don't come back from, because what she did wasn't just another foul. It wasn't just another hard play. It was an assault on Caitlin Clark that demands serious consequences. We're talking fines, suspensions, even being barred from the game. And the timing of all this couldn't be more explosive, because just as the league was still buzzing about Wilson's shoe drama with Nike, this bombshell drops, and now the entire WNBA world is asking the same question. How could the face of the league allow something this reckless to happen? And what does it mean for Caitlin Clark, who has been carrying the weight of controversy since the day she signed that massive Nike deal? Wilson knew her own shoe was already locked in, but while her fans stirred outrage and attacked Clark online, she stayed quiet, let the narrative spin, and now, after this on-court blow-up, people are realizing this isn't just about sneakers or contracts, it's about image, power, and who truly controls the future of women's basketball.
At the time, I did a little short that wound up getting 1 million views, basically on every platform, as to why Caitlin Clark was the one who got this big, massive Nike deal. But at the same time, there was backlash because A'ja Wilson did not have a Nike deal. And people were like, how did Caitlin come in and get it? And A'ja is great. Blah. And in a lot of ways, that was a preview for some of the dumbass discourse.
For months, social media has been on fire with one question that split fans right down the middle. Why did Caitlin Clark walk into the league and immediately land a historic Nike deal while A'ja Wilson, the reigning MVP and face of the Aces, appeared to be left out in the cold? Wilson supporters cried foul, claiming it was disrespectful, unfair, even racially motivated. Hashtags trended, I think pieces piled up, and every game Clark played came with the backdrop of this growing storm. But here's the twist that changes everything. A'ja already had a secret 2-year deal with Nike signed, sealed, and delivered. She knew it the whole time. Yet, let the narrative burn. And while Caitlin quietly kept her head down, answering every attack with her play on the court, Wilson played the long game, staying silent while her fans painted her as the victim and turned Clark into the villain. And now that truth has come out, the entire debate looks completely different.
What A'ja Wilson just did was unprecedented. I mean, on so many levels. She's arguably, allegedly, the reason Caitlin Clark was assaulted the entire 2024 basketball.
Think about what that really means. While Clark was being dragged every single night, dealing with boos in arenas and endless online hate for supposedly stealing the spotlight, A'ja Wilson was sitting back knowing her signature shoe was already being designed, refined, and prepared for launch. She didn't step in to calm the storm. She didn't tell her supporters the truth. Instead, she let the outrage grow, which only fueled more pressure on Caitlin, more division among fans, and more tension across the league. And here's the part that stings the most. With just one simple message, A'ja could have ended it. All she had to say was, "Don't worry, my shoe is coming too." But instead, she played chess while everyone else played checkers, letting Clark become the face of backlash, while she quietly held the winning hand the entire time.
If A'ja couldn't talk about the shoe, she couldn't talk about the shoe. That's fine, and that's understandable, right? Like that's understandable. But there was also a way to do it that didn't make it seem, because if I'm reading that, I'm thinking she's saying, yeah, you guys got me, but it's coming, right? Like, you know, we'll get there eventually.
And while A'ja stayed silent, Caitlin Clark never fired back. She never clapped at the hate, never fueled the drama. Instead, she locked in on her game, dropping points, breaking records, and proving every night why Nike bet big on her. That's the crazy part, because Clark responded with poise and performance while Wilson let the controversy breathe. And now fans are asking the hard question, was A'ja protecting her brand image, or was she deliberately letting Caitlin take the hits so her own reveal would shine brighter? Either way, the contrast is clear. One player handled the fire with grace, while the other let the flames grow until the entire league was choking on the smoke.
A'ja Wilson talking about, oh, I've been waiting 2 years for this. Wait, 2 years for this? 2 years for this, 2025, 2023, CC is announced in 2024. Delayed, not denied in 2024. Backlash all 2020.
To realize Aja Wilson knew for 2 full years her shoe was in the pipeline changes the whole story. Her contract was secured, her moment was guaranteed, yet she allowed the world to believe Nike had betrayed her in favor of Caitlin Clark. Fans went to war online. Clark's name got dragged through the mud, and the narrative painted Wilson as the overlooked star, when in reality, she was quietly waiting for her spotlight. That's not just silence, that's strategy. Because while millions thought Nike had played favorites, Aja let the false narrative roll and used it to build sympathy. But sympathy at the expense of a 22-year-old rookie who was simply trying to grow the game. And now that the truth is out, people are realizing Wilson wasn't just quiet. She was playing a game of perception that made Clark look like the villain for absolutely nothing.
Where the hell do we go from here? What Aja Wilson just did was completely unhinged. You knew for 2 years that you had a signature shoe coming out, but yet and still, you played a fake damn agenda about Caitlin Clark getting a $28 million deal, which we still haven't heard the ramifications of your actual deal. At least I haven't heard, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, we don't know how much money Aja Wilson.
Caitlin Clark became the lightning rod for everything wrong in the league. She was targeted on the court with elbows and cheap shots, attacked online as if she hadn't earned her spot, and framed as the reason veterans weren't getting what they deserved. But the truth is, Caitlin didn't steal anything. She didn't cheat her way into a shoe deal. She earned it by being the single biggest driver of ratings, ticket sales, and national attention women's basketball has ever seen. Nike saw it, the fans saw it, and the numbers proved it. Meanwhile, Aja Wilson had the power to calm the storm and instead chose to let it rage. And that's what makes this feel so much bigger than shoes. It's about who truly respects the growth of the game and who is willing to let a false story destroy someone's reputation just to keep control of the spotlight.
You're nearly 30 years old. Knowingly sending an angry mob towards a 22-year-old player is awful.
Because let's be real, if the roles were reversed and Caitlin Clark's fans had unleashed that same kind of hate on Aja Wilson, it would have been front page news. Every sports network would run panels, think pieces, and endless debates about racism, favoritism, and respect. But when it was Clark on the receiving end, the silence was deafening. No league-wide statements, no veteran stars stepping in to defend her, just crickets. And it exposed an ugly double standard, because instead of being celebrated for bringing millions of new eyes to women's basketball, Caitlin was treated like an outsider who had to be put in her place. And that wasn't just players fueling it. Nike themselves played games too. From running big campaigns about empowering women one day to conveniently leaving Clark out of the spotlight the next, it was a message loud and clear. We'll use her star power, but we won't stand behind her when it counts.
Nike. Oh my God. Nike. Folks, sometimes it's just unbelievable.
Nike's decisions only added fuel to the fire, because when they dropped that Super Bowl campaign celebrating female athletes, everyone noticed Caitlin Clark wasn't featured. Then suddenly, a voiceover gets slipped in at the last second, as if they thought fans wouldn't catch it. But people aren't blind. They know a last-minute edit when they hear one, and many believe Nike even used AI to cover their tracks. Imagine that. The biggest company in sports hiding the face of the biggest star in women's basketball while pretending it was just a creative choice? It doesn't add up. Clark has NBA-level numbers. She's filling arenas that were half empty before. She's the reason record-breaking TV ratings exist right now. And yet she's sidelined in the very campaigns that are supposed to celebrate growth. That's not just a snub, that's a power move. And it shows exactly how threatened the old guard feels watching her rise.
A lot of people think that they added a voiceover. From my experience in editing, I have used this many times with other things. They actually changed it with AI.
And this is where the damage cuts deepest. Because while Caitlin Clark has proven she can handle the pressure, the real victim in all of this is the WNBA itself. How can a league grow when its brightest star is treated like a problem? Instead of an opportunity, every cheap shot, every backhanded comment, every campaign that sidelines her makes the league look small and insecure instead of bold and united. The numbers don't lie. Ticket sales, TV ratings, and merchandise are soaring because of Clark. Yet, instead of building around that momentum, some veterans seem more focused on protecting ego than embracing the future. And Aja Wilson's shoe reveal should have been a celebration, a groundbreaking moment, but the months of false drama turned it into a reminder of how petty and divided things have become. Because the truth is, this wasn't just about sneakers, it was about control, about image, and about who gets to shape the next era of women's basketball. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark didn't steal anything. She didn't cheat. She didn't cut corners. She earned every deal, every highlight, and every ounce of attention by doing what nobody else could. She made the world care about women's basketball in a way we've never seen before. And that's why Nike bet on her. That's why arenas are packed. And that's why the game is finally breaking through to new audiences. Meanwhile, Aja Wilson's choice to let a false narrative run unchecked may have won her some sympathy in the short term, but in the long run, it exposed something far more damaging, a league where jealousy and ego too often outweigh unity and vision. Because if the WNBA truly wants to thrive, it can't afford to tear down the players who bring it to the next level. It has to stand with them, support them, and celebrate them. Caitlin Clark isn't the enemy, she's the engine. And the sooner the league realizes that, the brighter the future of women's basketball will be.